Today I take my own advice and make the most of it. Too many times my choices have been guided by my fears.
We obviously had to do a critical investigation, and I saw that a lot of people, when we were brainstorming ideas, a lot of people were doing the representation of women, and no one was doing like the representation of men. So I was like, let's put a twist on it and kind of look at that. And so I looked at Magic Mike XXL and the representation of men, masculinity, and I just kind of went deeper into that. And in the process of it, like, you learn so much that you didn't already know, because there's so many texts that you read, like online articles and books and so the proposal was kind of like it was like a structure where it had a few questions and you just answer them as it was. What's your text? What are your sources? Have you got 5 books that are listed? And when I looked at it at first, I was just like, this is gonna drag, this is gonna be so hard. And then like actually starting it off was the hardest thing. And then they got to a point where I had so much on it that I didn't know what to choose from. So it was difficult at first, but when you have all your sources in one place, the main thing you need is like clarity and structure. When you've broken it down, like, it helps so much. I think the trip to the BFI was really helpful. That really kicked off like my research and my notes and everything, because they kind of had like this whole set list of books that they had like ready for you to go choose and look from. And then, you know, going to go read the books, I actually found books really like the most helpful out of like articles and like websites, because you had everything there. And like basically, so I watched a few more documentaries related to, you know, like the topic of men and like the representation of men in the media. So I watched like an extra documentary called like Rabia, and I watched like another film called Magic City, and it was just similar texts that kind of, you would see like similarities in them, and like, you know, how men are kind of shown to be masculine, but at the same time they're very in touch with their emotions as well, but that doesn't make them less masculine. So it was like these things I was picking up on in all these different texts, and I was like, okay, this is helpful, so this does link. And then, you know, you can just break it down and see more YouTube videos on people's opinions, and like there's so many like social experiments that people now do on YouTube, and like that's really interesting to look at as well. Like that really, you know, added to my research, and I was like, this is something I can talk about, this is something I can reference. So basically, Notes and Quotes document was just, mine started off as a blank piece of document for quite a few weeks. I was like, I don't know how to add to it, I don't know what to do. And then basically you just, anything you get, your articles, your books, the text that you read, you kind of just put it onto the document and you break it down. Like I analysed so many texts and I just put them there, put my opinion. If I'd seen that someone else had done a blog, or someone had just, you know, put a comment at the bottom of the YouTube video, like in the clip, in the comment section, if someone had just put their opinion there, I'd take that and I'd put it in there. And I had so much. And then, you know, obviously breaking it down, I'd say like quantity is important, you've got to have a lot of it, but then that's, you kind of get your quality from that, you know, you extract the key things and then it kind of builds. So the Notes and Quotes was definitely something I went back to like every other day, because I was just seeing things that like, if I was watching the TV or if I was watching an advert, I'd see something and I'd be like, oh, okay, this would be interesting to talk about, and then, you know, you just add it. I used the Media magazine quite a bit actually. They had, surprisingly, I didn't think that they would, but they'd spoken about the representation of men quite a bit in it. And The Guardian was really good as well. They had like loads of different articles at the time, and there were so many debates and, you know, lectures, like TEDx talks and everything that we'd looked at with Laura Bates and Emma Watson and all those projects that they were doing in the campaigns, which were quite helpful. And then also like the Twitter blog that our school obviously has got, like Media MacGuffin, they had like so many like, you know, tweets that they were just regularly tweeting like, oh, you guys should have a look at this. So it kind of really helped. Obviously the jump from GCSE to A-level is crazy, and you've got to know your stuff for you to have some, you know, a strong opinion on something. Like if if you're not really into like watching the news or, you know, keeping up to date with what's happening in, like, you know, the social media world or whatever, like, you're not really gonna have a view on anything. In terms of your question, you kind of really need to understand what you're talking about. Otherwise, it's so easy to go off topic throughout your entire critical investigation. And that's one thing that's not gonna like get you your high marks, because you need consistency, and it kind of needs to, all your points need to refer back to what you're trying to say at the end of the day. You have to sit down, know your text, know what you want to talk about, and then form your own question. You shouldn't rely on someone else to make it for you, because when you make it yourself, then you know best about what you're going to go into.
Today I take my own advice and make the most of it.